A flight attendant tears up a 12-year-old boy's boarding pass without a second thought. No questions asked, just a snap judgment in front of a crowd. What she didn't know, what she couldn't have guessed, was that the boy's father owned the entire airline. This isn't a movie script or some feel-good twist of fate. This is about Tarek Delancey, a kid who walked into an airport with a ticket and a dream, only to have both ripped apart by someone who didn't bother to look twice. Hey fam, welcome back to the channel, and today we bring to you a unique encounter that will keep you on the edge of your seat. New to the channel? Subscribe for more interesting stories. Let's dive in. Tarek was 12, stepping onto a plane solo for the first time. According to the airline's rules, and his dad's faith in him, he was ready. His hands might have been clammy gripping that boarding pass, his backpack straps biting into his shoulders, but he was steady. Inside that bag, snacks, a sketchbook, headphones, and a note from his mom folded tight. Sit by the window, watch the mountains. They'll look like a painting you're soaring over. He'd read that line a dozen times, tracing the words like a map. He was bound for Seattle, a 2-week robotics camp his dad had helped fund, the only kid from his school picked to go. That morning, his mom's pride had lit up the drop-off line, and it stuck with him as he navigated Sacramento's Terminal C. He'd done everything right, checked in early, found gate C12, stood in line like everyone else. The gate agent, Colleen Dresner, scanned passengers through one by one. Beep, beep, beep. Then it was Tarek's turn. She didn't smile. Navy blazer crisp, red lipstick slightly off. She carried that vibe some people have, like they're too busy to care. She glanced at him, not his pass, and asked, "Where are your parents?" Voice flat, already decided. "I'm flying alone," Tarek said, calm, pulling out his confirmation. "My dad's already on the plane." Colleen sighed, long and slow, like he'd just ruined her day. "We don't let kids wander up here solo," she said, arms folding. "I'm not wandering," he countered, holding out the ticket. She snatched it with 2 fingers, barely looked, then, rip, tore it in half. No warning, no hesitation. "There," she said, cold as concrete. "Now you wait until we figure out who you are. I've seen enough fake passes to know when something's off." Tarek froze. His mouth opened, but nothing came out. The 2 halves dangled in her hand like a broken promise. The line behind him shuffled, confused stares, a couple of side eyes. But no one spoke. "I didn't do anything," he muttered, voice wobbling. "You're being disruptive," Colleen snapped. "Don't make this worse." Disruptive. That word hit harder than the sound of tearing paper. He scanned the gate. Passengers, staff, a security guard slouched by the wall. But it was like he'd disappeared. Invisible unless he was a problem. Colleen waved over a second attendant, Ryan, a younger guy with a headset. "Call TSA. We've got a situation." Fear crept in then. Not of flying, but of this. Being trapped, singled out, shrunk down in public for no reason. The terminal hummed on. Bags rolled by. A baby wailed near the outlets. A guy typed furiously 2 rows over, like nothing was happening. Tarek stood clutching the torn ticket, unsure whether to sit or stay put. His eyes stung, but he didn't cry. Ryan shifted awkwardly like he wanted to speak but couldn't. Colleen, arms still crossed, acted like she'd just saved the day instead of shattering a kid's. "Ma'am," Tarek tried, "if you scan my name, my dad's on the plane. Benson Delancey." Her face flickered. Recognition? But she smothered it. "I don't care who you name drop," she said. 20 years on this job, I know when something's fishy." "I didn't lie," he said. "You're combative now," she shot back. He stopped talking. Not because he was out of words, but because she'd twist anything he gave her. A TSA officer rolled up, stocky, gum-chewing, mirrored shades indoors. "What's up?" he asked Colleen. "Possible fake ticket, flying alone, no proper ID, mouthing off." The officer eyed Tarek. "Guardian?" "My dad's on the plane," Tarek said. "Name?" "Tarek Delancey." The officer tapped his tablet, then looked at Colleen. "Got a Delancey on the manifest. 2, actually. Benson Delancey checked in 30 minutes ago. Minors flagged for UM service. He's clean." Colleen's jaw clenched, but she didn't budge, like the truth was an insult. "You okay, kid?" the officer asked. Tarek nodded. He wasn't. But what else could he say? "All good," the officer muttered, stepping back. "Someone overreacted." Colleen doubled down. He shouldn't have approached alone. Procedures. Ryan finally spoke, low but firm. He followed the rules. Checked in with me an hour ago. I verified everything. Colleen glared, but he didn't flinch. A woman nearby, late 30s, watching from her seat, stood up. I saw him. He was polite, had his ticket. She didn't even read it. A murmur rippled. Yeah, this ain't right. The silence cracked. Tarek gripped his torn pass, not wanting a fight. Just someone to say, I see you, and this wasn't okay. Ryan tapped his earpiece. Supervisor to C12 now. Colleen stood stiff, lips tight, clinging to her authority like a life raft. Then a voice sliced through, calm, steady, commanding without shouting. Why isn't my son on that plane? Heads turned. Benson Delancey didn't look like a titan. No towering frame, no thunderous growl. Just a gray jacket, white shirt, quiet confidence. Ryan's eyes widened. Mr. Delancey, sir? I thought you'd boarded. I stayed to watch, Benson said. Staff complaints on this route. Looks like I saw plenty. He glanced at Tarek, still holding the scraps. Dad, Tarek said, exhaling. You all right? Benson asked. She said it was fake. Tore it up. Benson turned to Colleen. Did you scan his name? No, I... Check the UM list? The tag on his bag links to the manifest. I didn't think. You didn't think, Benson cut in, still even. You assumed. Colleen flushed. Ryan jumped in. He was verified. No issues. Then why's his ticket in pieces? Benson asked. She had no answer. I want a supervisor, he said, and the gate footage reviewed. When he was stopped. What you said. When you destroyed his pass. Ryan nodded. On it. The woman from earlier stepped closer. He was polite. She didn't check. Thank you, Benson said. Colleen shrank, muttering, I didn't know who he was. That's the problem, Benson replied. It shouldn't matter. A supervisor hustled over. Dean Rosner, badge glinting. Mr. Delancey, apologies. We were just notified. I want a report, Benson said. And my son boards without hassle. Yes, sir. New ticket right away. Tarek stared at the scraps. You good to fly? Benson asked. Tarek nodded, whispering. Why'd she look at me like that? Benson paused. She saw what she wanted to, not what was there. They moved to the window, the gate scrambling to fix things. Colleen retreated behind the desk, pretending to work. Benson approached her, calm but direct. You didn't just tear a pass. You tore a moment my son was excited for. She froze. I made a call. No, he said. You made a judgment. He stepped back. Ryan handed over a new pass. First class, no charge. Thanks for speaking up, Benson told him. Tarek rejoined, steadier. Do I have to sit up front? I like the wing. Benson smiled. We'll switch. On the plane, a warmer attendant greeted them. Mr. Delancey, so sorry. Tarek, want to see the cockpit? His eyes lit up. Really? Captain's a fan of your dad. Tarek went, and Benson sat, texting his chief of staff. Gate agent incident, Sacramento C12. UM involved. Footage flagged. Review and retraining needed. Personal. Back at the gate, Dean pulled Colleen aside. Disciplinary review's coming. You acted without cause. She stared at the floor. Ryan lingered, not smug, just blunt. You had the info. You didn't care. She snapped. Don't act perfect. I'm not, he said, but I don't shred kids' tickets. In the air, Tarek returned, grinning. They let me press a button. What'd it do? Not the cargo door. They laughed. Real, finally. Later, he asked, You mad at her? No, Benson said. Anger's easy. Fixing this? That's work. Tarek nodded, sketching mountains from his mom's note. Landing in Seattle, staff waited with a UM sign. 2 weeks, Benson said. Love you. Love you too. Days later, Dean emailed. Colleen on leave. Bias training launching system-wide. Benson kept the torn pass, not spite, a reminder. Tarek called from camp. My drone hit a tree. It flew? Yeah, drew her too. The gate lady. Wrote, do better. Benson smiled. Good. This wasn't rare, a pattern, not a fluke. Silence lets it thrive. If you've seen it, been it, stayed quiet, speak. Share this, not for likes, but for every kid who just wants their seat without a fight. Subscribe if respect shouldn't hinge on who you know. Next time, don't look away. Say something.